Everybody,
How long it takes
it is high
for a whole
noon.
paper to get dribbled?
It's Wednesday, and we all know what that means. It's time for LA2M. Welcome, folks. We got a great crowd here, and why wouldn't we? We have a brilliant, amazing speaker who you're going to hear about in a minute. But I'm just curious, how many of you are here for your very first LA2M? First timers, all right, welcome. We do meet every Wednesday. We meet every Wednesday except for Christmas, Hanukkah, and then we've been snowed out a couple times. The snow got us. 2 snow days this winter. It's amazing. We've had the biggest storms on Wednesdays. It's because God loves us. God loves LA2M. But so thank you for everyone who come to LA2M. My name is Derek Marabon. I am CEO of Ingenix Digital Marketing, and I'm up here with Stacy Collick from Dollar Bill Printing, and Stacy's the LA2M treasurer. So for those of you new to LA2M, and boy, our mics are really turned up high today, but that's okay, you can hear me. For those of you new, we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we hold meetings every week. And we usually get around 50 people to come out, and you get to learn something. We're a marketing education group, so we're all about providing education. And that's why we bring in great speakers with great topics, and people show up and they learn. And every week at 12:45, our speaker stops, and then you get a chance to introduce yourself. So everyone in this room will just get a chance to introduce yourself. If you're looking for something, if you're hiring somebody, if you have some good news to share, and we get all the way around the room in 15 minutes, and we always finish by 1. So our goal is to finish by 1 o'clock p.m., which we're about a 99% completion rate. We've been doing this for, this is our 6th year of LA2M, our 6th year of doing this. We have 1 employee. Mary Lou Olds is our employee, so because there's just so much work to do, we're all volunteer. Carter volunteers, Stacy volunteers, Roger volunteers to film. We live stream these around the world. They're very big in Iceland, and I think especially the Icelandic people are big Spartans, you know, because it's kind of Spartish up there. It's very Spartan territory. Yeah, well, we're talking Spartans today because we have a Spartan speaker. It's not just because I'm a Spartan. But yeah. But how about those brackets? Did everyone fill out your brackets? Yeah? Did you guys notice there's an LA2M bracket? Did anyone see that? Okay. LA2M is having a bracket. I'm collecting money today. I know we're not supposed to talk about gambling, but it's only $5. And it's through Yahoo. Yes, last year we didn't have a prize, right? So this year you can actually win money. So we're going to do 80% to the winner, 20% to second place. So see me today or next week with your $5, and you have until tomorrow to sign up. All right? Can I get some people to commit to doing the bracket? NCAA brackets? Anyone going to commit? This gentleman committed? Who's going to do the brackets? Don't you guys do brackets? Is there any basketball fans in the room? No. All right.
13-year-old son is ready.
Well, have your kid fill it out or something. Yeah, have your son fill it out. But anyways, it's for the fun. And we're hoping for a Michigan State-Michigan final. That's kind of the hope. I ran into John U. Bacon around this morning. You guys know John U. Bacon? Yeah, he's a big Wolverine, but he said, hey, go Sparty until the final game. And I think that's the mark of a true UM fan who can, like, you know, let's root for each other. Let's root for each other's success, and in the end, let's meet in the championship, and then all bets are off. But, all right. I'm going to let Stacy talk for a minute.
Hi everybody, I'm Stacy, and I'm the treasurer of LA2M, so I'm going to pass the hat. We do it old school here. You get to come and have a fabulous lesson, learn something in marketing for free. Just think how much you'd pay to listen to our speakers speak. So instead you can put that into the bucket. We suggest $5, but we'll take a 10 or a 20. And if you only have a couple dollars in your pocket today, that's fine. And next, we'll catch you next time too. So I'm going to pass that bucket here to make sure it gets all the way around. And I thank you ahead of time for your wonderful donations.
Thanks, Stacy. So LA2M is supported by you donating, because we don't have any fees. There's no membership fees, but if you can support us. And then we also have sponsors. So to be a sponsor, it's only $250 for the month. And that allows you to be included in the email blast, and allows you to share at the event about your company. And this month's sponsor is Ingenix Digital Marketing. So we're going to hand the mic over, yeah, because nobody wanted to sponsor, so we did. But we're going to hand the mic over to Laura Kirshner and talk about that.
As I raise the money jar.
Hi, I'm Laura Kirshner with Ingenix Digital Marketing, and we are proud to sponsor this month. At Ingenix, we're a digital marketing agency, and we specialize in inbound marketing. So if those aren't everyday terms for you, what that means is that we meet with you, help create a strategy, and then we help you implement it. And the way that we do that is by creating content that speaks to your target audience, and then using different channels to market that content, such as email, social, blogs, and ultimately all drives back to your website with the primary goal of making you money or generating members or completing whatever that goal is that you have. So ultimately we help you solve your problem of meeting your business goals. So let us know if you need help.
I'll tell you, that was just a succinct, wonderful little pitch from our sponsor. Thanks, Laura. I couldn't have done better than that. These mics are turned up. Jim, can you turn this one down a little bit? This is the handheld mic. All right, so a couple more things. So we are looking for sponsors always. So to that end, we created these new cards. Actually, Stacy, Dollar Bill Printing, as part of their sponsor, they made these things for us, and they're donated out. So basically, there's sponsorship packages on here. There should be on their table. And there's also, if you're interested, you can fill out the back and hand them in to Mary Lou, myself, Stacy, one of the board members. If you want to help us out, it's a great way to get involved and support a community organization, right? And we just use this to cover our costs. We're not making any money on this. So these are the little sheets that, there's more on the back table. And also, the other thing we have is these LA2M cards, okay? So these are cards, you can take a couple of them. If you have any friends that might be interested, you can just hand them a card. It tells who we are, where you can find us. It has information about our social properties and our websites. So please help spread the word of LA2M, because the only reason we succeed is because we have wonderful people who show up. So thank you. And you can do your part by helping spread the word. Or if you want to feel generous and grow your business, when you sponsor, our email goes out to around 2,000 people in Southeast Michigan. That's pretty valuable. Plus you get the podium here to talk about your business. So that's pretty good. There's some more bonuses. We're going to be giving you like sponsor pages on the website. So take a look at those sponsor cards and help promote your business. I think it's a great way to advertise. We have a t-shirt for our speaker, and Stacy's going to give that to Heather real quick. So Bank of Ann Arbor bought us all t-shirts, and we give them to our speakers, and you take a picture. This is a Kodak moment. We do have speakers. Yeah, they're not green and white, but that's okay. They're orange and white. LA2M colors. All right, so I think that's all the business beforehand. Let me introduce our speaker. This is Heather Swain, and she's a friend of mine. You know, I'm a Spartan. I went to Michigan State, and I had the privilege of being on Heather's marketing advisory group for a few years when that first started, and working with Heather, who's the head of marketing and branding and communications, a bunch of things. It's a long title. And also working with President Simon. I call her Sweet Lou because I love her so much. And anyways, Heather is amazing. And she has led what I would consider an incredible branding effort for a university that really has worked to brand themselves and to struggle with the success of athletics and academics, and how do you brand it, and how do you make everybody happy? How do you make all the academics happy? How do you make the fans happy and the people happy? And I don't know, I'm just a Spartan. I think Heather's a great example of a true Spartan and a wonderful marketing leader. So let's give her a warm round of applause to welcome Heather Swain to LA2M.
That's not good.
You can keep it on, I'll adjust it.
Okay. Where did I put it? Oh, there. Can you hear me? Yes. Can you hear me through the mic, or can you just hear me? Okay. I'm just going to talk. All right. Okay, so I'm Heather Swain. I'm the Vice President for Communications and Brand Strategy at Michigan State. That was very kind of him. I don't keep everybody happy, but I try. Keeping everybody happy at a very big university is a big job and probably impossible. I'm going to talk about a variety of things today. Mostly I'm going to show you some things that we do as part of our brand image marketing, some examples. We've been at it for a while, so we have a bunch of stuff. I'm going to skip some stuff in this presentation so we have time for some questions at the end. So you'll see me skip over some slides just to make sure that we have a little time to talk at the end, because I figure that's valuable too. Just to give you a sense, I usually wander, and I don't have a remote, so I may have to stay behind this podium more than I like. Trying to market coherently at a Big Ten institution is a big challenge. I have some friends here from University of Michigan, and they'll tell you the same thing probably in a week. We are really big, complicated, messy, decentralized institutions. So did we say big? Big Ten, big universities, big, big, big. And we have this kind of problem of what business are we in anyway. We're in multiple businesses. We do a lot of different things, right? So we educate people. We're in the education business, but we also generate a whole lot of research. So we're in the research business. We also help, with economic development. We help entrepreneurs. We help start companies. Or we're in the economic development business. We're in a whole bunch of different sort of lines of work. And sometimes that gets confusing from a promotion standpoint. We have a lot of different stakeholders, and sometimes they really don't want to hear the same thing. But in the world today, you can't really segment messages in the way that you might like to, so everybody's going to hear everything. It's hard to differentiate. One big research university, honestly, is very much like another. And that's because we're built to be. We are mission-based institutions, public institutions in states are built to do the same things. We're built to educate. We're built to conduct research and to pass that as a public good into the public domain. And we are built to do outreach and engage, particularly at land-grant universities like Michigan State, where it started long ago and it starts with extension, and you are translating that knowledge to people every day. So, we're built to do the same things. So, what we do is not all that different. How we do it may differ a little bit, and the culture of an institution can vary greatly. But, we're built to do the same things. This culture of decentralization is pretty entrenched. And there are a lot of headwinds for our sector. I think probably all of you are aware from the news coverage you see, take the lead of we're coming from the White House right now. There are a lot of questions about the cost of education. Is it transparent enough? Are we out there just wasting money? Are we accountable enough? Are we really educating anybody? There are more and more questions about the sector of higher education, much more so than there used to be. Opportunities, though, did we mention big? We're big. We do a lot of great stuff at public universities. And so from the perspective of brand narrative, we have a lot of really, really fabulous stories to tell. Education is still, if you look at research done, is still considered by most Americans to be a very positive thing. What we do in higher education is part of the common good, and mostly it is understood to be that. Especially at huge universities, we have an army of word-of-mouth advocates in our alumni. We have 500,000 Spartans. So, that's an army. And they're out there doing their own good things and helping spread the word about the institution. These are great brands, and they're part of a great brand. The Big Ten is a great brand. So those are opportunities for us. Let's talk about what Michigan State has done. We've been really working on a branding initiative. Everything has a brand, and you guys know that because you're marketers, but really more of a concerted effort to get our brand house in order since about 2009. I got there in late 2006, and I went to work on getting some structural things in-house in line first, and then getting to the point where we could conduct some pretty comprehensive research and then get our effort launched. At most public universities, you're going to hear the same story, modest budgets. We don't have a lot to spend on this. We're not like a corporation that can really saturate. So these are modest efforts, and we've sustained it over time. So let's talk about what the MSU brand is. Hardworking excellence. This is what we consider to be the core of our brand. You're not going to see this written into a bunch of brochures, just as you, as marketers understand that we have a brand platform. This is our internal beacon. This is what our communicators, we have about 200 communicators spread all over the campus. They don't report into me. They're all over in colleges and units and in all kinds of places. Can bounce their communications off of, and I'll give you the rest of it here in a minute, to make sure that, if it's in this vein, it's in the wheelhouse of the brand. Brand pillars being our values. We are founded on a mission. We're sort of a mission that created a university instead of a university that created a mission. There was a feeling, and being the pioneer land-grant university, there was an upwelling in the nation at the time. that there needed to be education available that was not just for the elite, that was not just to serve the professions, lawyers, doctors, that there needed to be a way to educate people who would then sort of return into the citizenry and pass that knowledge back in the areas of farming and in the areas of industry. And how do you get that knowledge back? And it really became the beginnings of the democratization of higher education. And that spread very quickly. We were one of the model institutions, but there were others very quickly in that movement. So our values are very, very strong and very core to what we do. We have vast capabilities. It's not the same as vast resources. We do not have limitless resources, but we have a big infrastructure. We have a lot of capabilities from a scientific standpoint, a research standpoint. We have big networks that are global. We had the first dean of international studies and programs back in the 50s before global was ever even cool. The first one in the country. And so we have a lot of resources in that sense built up, a lot of equity built up in infrastructure and capacity. And universities like ours, like University of Michigan, these are places where just a whole lot of smart people, students, faculty, are aggregated together, and that creates a lot of capacity and capability. And then our collaboration and connectivity. Again, we're very proud of the work that we do in every county in this state and all around the world. We're research active in half the nations in Africa, where we are really engaged with communities all around Michigan and around the world in really taking knowledge and putting it to work to solve problems. So that's really the core message. This is really the core of our brand. What do? We create opportunity, and we take research and knowledge and we put it to work to solve some of the biggest problems in the world. And one of the benefits of being an old ag school is that all the really big problems that are going to be the ones that for my children and my grandchildren are going to be the ones that if we don't really work on and work them out real soon are going to be the ones that take this world and make it not a very pleasant place to live. Food, water, energy, those kinds of things. Those are the things that have been in our wheelhouse for a long, long time and that we're really good at. And so, these are the kinds of things that we see as our real focus and our mission to really take knowledge and apply it to make those things better. We have kind of 9 total words that we associate with our brand. This came out of a lot of research. So, when I said we did research back in 2009, we had 8 different audiences involved in that. We had scads of people, so that's a whole different presentation unto itself. But all of a sudden showing you didn't just poof emerge from nothing. I didn't make it up, neither did my staff. It emerged from research, and so these are words that associate with our brand. And I think one of the most important things is that this sense of hardworking excellence. It's a brand with some sort of I don't consider them inherent tensions, perhaps some people do, but this notion that we can be humble and heroic at the same time, that we can be larger than life and accessible, that we can be amazing and down to earth. We're an institution that is, always just, part of... Is that you? I was like, wow.
No, it would not be Mary Lou.
Okay. No. We're always an institution that is really just kind of, performing with purpose, that is just really working away, and often forgets. It's my job. Often forgets to stop and say, hey, look at what we did. And that's been true for a long, long time. It's this sense of, we might achieve something, but, the next day we're just right back at it. We're just rolling up the sleeves and doing the work. We might be achieving amazing things, but we're really the Spartans hardly stop to take notice of that themselves. So this all got rolled into our tagline, which is Spartans Will. And people often ask me, did you mean for that to have 2 meanings? The answer is yes. The sense that there are many things that Spartans will achieve. Now, we put a period behind it. We don't encourage our folks around campus to just go fill in the blank with this, that, and the other thing, because it can quickly degrade into something that doesn't mean much. But, you know, there is a sense of Spartans will, you know, achieve a lot of different things, be the ones who achieve things. But there's also a notion of the Spartan will, the will that it takes to get some really important things done. So I'm going to show you a little bit of how we brought the brand to life. Back in 2010, we started with this kind of small video that helped promote and launch a project that we had and that still runs called Spartan Sagas, where we've told the stories of alumni, faculty, students, and staff who sort of embody this Spartan spirit. The website where you can access Spartan Sagas. There are a lot of them on there. I was going to play you one, but we're short on time, so I'm going to move on from that. But there are many, many stories on there, some really extraordinary people, which we've promoted pretty much every year. We run billboards in the fall and in the arteries into and out of East Lansing, so we catch football in particular. Mostly we have been really working on, as we worked up to a capital campaign that's in a quiet phase now and will be public soon. Really we've been working on raising, it's not awareness with our alumni, obviously our alumni know us, but really raising the level of emotional affinity for our alumni. And what I always say is I want them to tell a different story tomorrow than they tell today. We know from our research that we have alumni who are extremely enthusiastic, that they love their institution, but often it tends to be a very kind of thin in terms of the story they can tell. Go green, go white. Love it. And we're really working to arm them with a little bit more depth in that so that they can talk more about the academic side of the institution. We've done airport advertising, focusing on, and if you look at the messaging here, you'll see that it supports these different, the pillars in the branding. Up there in the left corner, this talks about a collaboration with GE, where we're working on malaria in Malawi. This gets to the vast capabilities. We have study abroad on every continent, including Antarctica, and do research on every continent as well. This is what we did with our view book. So this branding has moved into undergraduate recruitment with our search piece. And then a couple of years ago, we redid, I'm going to show you how we've applied this to some internal tools. So we only have certain resources that we could extend into advertising. So how we redid some of the standing kinds of materials that we have. And so we had our old news site. This is what it looked like. Not very exciting. And we have redone that completely into a content hub. And this is what it looks like today. And today, this not only pulls together news stories, but it pulls together video content. We have introduced features, which can be video features, they can be photo essays, they can be written features. And we're aggregating content from around the campus when we find good content. So a whole variety of content can run through here. Sagas can be shown here, and you can see that it's got a whole different look and feel to it. We have a section for journalists. It has not in any way impaired our ability to speak directly to journalists, but it has enhanced our ability to speak directly to our alumni and to other audiences that are looking for a more enhanced experience. this is what you see for Big Ten Network. These are different shows on the Big Ten Network. We produce content for the Big Ten Network that is not athletics oriented. We have the capacity in our office, and we have a certain number of hours that we receive from Big Ten, just like all the other Big Ten institutions, to produce television shows, and that's what we do. These are examples of feature stories, and you can see the visual style is greatly, pumped up and enhanced, and they are on topics that are supporting, our brand strengths. So you'll see, here's food. They're about research. We're working on really getting research, more and more faculty members working on the brain and brain research. This is the art museum that opened a couple of years ago, the Broad Museum. We also reinvented our President's Report last year in a way that enhanced engagement with this off the charts compared to what it was before. Our President's Report every year presents really research stories. At core, that's what it is, and it talks about how our research has an impact, what it does, how it makes a difference in the world. And so, every year we do a print piece, and we do online, and we have a lot of video, and we do a lot, and we promote it. But I decided it really wasn't doing enough. So for that number of resources, if we didn't get more out of it, something had to change. And so in order to do that, if you're really going to increase engagement, you need a bold idea. I wanted to increase reach. I wanted to drive engagement with the brand story, and amplify the impact. So what was this idea going to be? The producer of our Big Ten Network content came to me and he said, well, why not go around the world? Let's go around the world and let's show them what we're doing. I said, could you tell me a little more about that, Jim? So we talked about it, and the idea was to try to show people what it was like in the field. What did it mean to be there? Well, we've done lots of video in the field, and we've done lots of global video, but how could we change it so it really felt like you were there, like you were going along on the journey? So what we did is we took what had been sort of a report and turned it into a 2-month-long campaign, highly social media engaged, where we put up a story every few days as the crews hopscotched around the world, and it unfolded as they moved, and as close to real time as we could do it. Can't really do it exactly real time when you're transmitting these stories back from the middle of Africa and everywhere, but called it Spartansville 360, and part of that was because you got a 360-degree view, and one of my friends called this tapas for the brain, because you could really go into this in all kinds of different ways. So the coin there is the president's view, so what the president had to say about it. So a little written thing that was directly from our president. Crew cuts was what the crew was experiencing as they were traveling, what they had to say about the research they were seeing. The researcher themselves wrote about it. A grad student, or the field notes was either a grad student or an undergrad that might be working with that researcher. The main piece was video. There was always a photo gallery. So there were all kinds of different ways you could engage with this. And I'll just page through some of this quickly. This was organ trafficking in Bangladesh. And so you can see this is really, really rich content. And we could use this content later in a lot of ways, and we did. We, promoted through social media. We had a blog for the crew. We later had artifacts, what I called them, where we were able to put together a print piece. Originally, we had no plan for a print piece at all, but the photography was so stunning that we did produce a print piece that was used by advancement with donors. And this was the difference in the kinds of engagement that we had. So, year before, award-winning report. We won awards for this report up here in 2011. But this is how we did here. And there's actually a statistic on that I think is actually more important that's not on here. Our average time on site for Spartansville 360 was 5 minutes. So people spent forever on this website. Another thing that we're really focused on now, and this is a little bit different way to look at marketing is really empowering our advocates. So, these are our alumni, these are our friends, and what can we do to get them talking? So we need to feed the word of mouth engine. Our marketing budgets are limited. So we have a weekly email. We're not unique in doing that, but we have tried to make it as visually appealing as we can in a componentized way that we can manage easily, and also allow people to select their content. So folks can say, you know what, I want headlines in business, I want headlines in art, I want, and it can be constructed for them, with the program we have written behind it. They can get everything if they want. We also have a daily pride point. As I flipped by MSU Today quickly, there's a pride point that changes out every day on that site. But if you're too busy to go to see MSU Today every day, you can sign up to have it just emailed to you. So if you need, cocktail talk, you want to be able to be an alum who's in the know about, little points of pride, we can send them right to you. We have worked hard on the governmental affairs side of things. We have worked with them on a site called My Spartan Impact, which will provide you with information about how we have an impact on every area of the state. And you can go into this and you can get all this information. That's like going into a particular region. From stories to numbers, economic impact, number of alumni, how many medical residents we have in that area, number of students coming from there. We also have an advocacy site. So this is the Spartan Advocate, which is where people can sign up literally to be an advocate, particularly for things that have to do with the legislature. So right now we have people who are advocating to support the governor's recommended budget increase for higher education. And then we also seize opportunities. We went to the Rose Bowl, it was an opportunity. We created a lot of content around that, and we purchased advertising associated with it. So we did videos with Tom Izzo, D'Antonio, with our academic All-American students, put those together in a banner that ran during that time. We did ads. We've had advertising in the past that's been Leaders, Lifesavers, World Changers. We just flipped out the bottom to Game Changers. So we featured our researchers and alumni in addition to D'Antonio. So this is everything we did. We did billboards, we had street teams out there, we had social media engaged in real time during the game with some planned messaging. We did a digital buy, we did print ads, street teams. The street teams had things like, number one, little jersey kind of things. Number one, nuclear physics. We did boosted Facebook posts. This is the engagement during the game.
What was the hashtag?
I don't remember. All right, and what's next, quickly? So I want to give you a moment to ask some questions. What's next? This year's President's Report. He says I have 10. Okay, 10. This year's President's Report is going to take a different focus. Last year we went around the world. Now this year we're staying very close to home. One of the things that we often think about is, well, what's really special or different about the undergraduate experience on a research university campus? Why go to a research university rather than a small liberal arts school or any other kind of school? What's different about it? And will I just get lost in the shuffle? Well, there is something magnificent about the scale of a research university and the sheer not just number, but the some of these opportunities that just don't exist anywhere else. That you can do what I call extreme personalization. It's kind of like Amazon, right? You can't get as personalized an experience at a smaller place or a place that doesn't have the same kinds of incredible scientific resources because you just can't put that thing together. You may have an experience that has been customized for you in the same way it's been customized for everybody else, because this is the kind of experience we offer at X school. But at a huge university like this, you can say, this is my experience. I map it. and I'm going to put it together this way. And so what we've done is we've featured 9 undergraduate students. We created a class, a special class in ComArts. We worked with those students, and they shot and helped edit a piece that tracked 9 undergraduate students through an entire semester as they had their experiences and put their experience together. So this is Isaac, and I should be able to show you Isaac if I can figure out how to do it. It says I can show you the Isaac video. Well, oh, there it is. Here we go.
This is Isaac, one of 9 students we followed for a whole semester to take you inside the MSU experience. It's his freshman year, and he went to Japan before he even got to campus. He comes from a migrant family, and this is his chance to take his life to the next level.
I guess you can say I'm living the American dream.
Meet Isaac and the other cast members as we turn college inside out.
These are just trailers that are being released, one every day for 9 days. As we lead up to this, we'll have an event next week where we premiere the half-hour show that will air on the Big Ten Network. And the president will be there, and she'll, honor the students who produced it, the students who were involved in it, and we'll have media there. So this is what we're doing with this year's President's
This is
Report.
Claire, one of 9 students we followed for a whole semester to take you inside the MSU experience. She's a really busy sophomore who makes time to work with kids from Detroit. Claire's not sure what she wants to do after she graduates, but she's finding her voice, doing improv.
I think I'm more witty than funny.
Meet Claire and the other cast members as we turn college inside out.
So these students were all nominated, and then after nomination, we asked them to apply, and then we interviewed. We did a lot of work in the selection process. And admissions is using this material, advancement is using this material, so there's, again, every time we do content like this, whether it's 360 or this one, there's a lot of repurposing of this content. So I'm going to stop and let you guys ask some questions.
Raise your hand, I got the microphone for you. Who's got a question? All right, we got one up front. Here's the mic.
This is fabulous, but I don't hear much about the arts, music.
It's true, you don't. That is, to some degree, intentional. We are, in terms of building a brand, that is not going to be the most, that's not going to be the out front thing that we're going to be the best at. And so when you're, when you're brand building, you have to pick the things that are going to go in front. And this is one of the hardest things at an institution. We have 17 degree-granting colleges. You cannot talk about everything. Everything cannot be in the lead. And what we are going to be the best at Michigan State University is not going to be that. Now, we do talk about the arts, and there is content about that, but it's not what we emphasize the most. What we emphasize the most is research, and it's in the areas that you've heard me talk about: water, energy, food, and we have a set of focus areas that we hammer on over and over and over. That doesn't mean we never talk about music, or we never talk about arts, or we never talk about social science, or but we don't talk as much about them. So you'll hear certain things more. Jazz studies, you'll hear more, because that's an area that we're, sort of have a kind of pinnacle in. But to some degree, that's by design. Because when you're building a brand, you cannot give everything equal weight.
The traditional media are always ready to jump on bad news rather than all these positive things you've been telling me about.
Yeah.
Are you always ready to counter somebody burned a sofa in the middle of the street story? Whatever it is.
Yeah. So my office is the Central Communications Office for the institution. We do have so I'm really talking about marketing here today. We do have a whole media communications area most of the time we are doing proactive media communications, but we have obviously a whole person dedicated to issues and crisis communication. U of M has a whole department. Oh, I wish I knew that. That does not mean they have more issues. That just means they have better staffing. And it's a great way to do it. And I wish we had it. We have a person, and then we have a university spokesperson who reports directly to me, who also spends a great deal of his time on issues and crisis communication. Crises are very rare. Actual real crises. Issues are pervasive. In universities as large as ours, there is not a day without multiple issues that are being managed all the time, most of which you never see, fortunately, because we're managing them. But we're like small cities, and lots of stuff happens. The advice and counsel that we give to senior leadership all the time is. I hope crucial, but often it wouldn't surprise you. It's pretty basic, but it's stuff that people need to remember in the heat of the moment. When you gotta act swiftly. You need to apologize. You need to all the basics that everybody knows, but usually when they're times get really crazy, they forget. So. Sometimes you have to sit at the table and be the conscience.
Hey Heather, I'm curious, what metrics have been the biggest teller of the success of what you've been doing over the last few years? Like what metrics have you looked at that show it's working?
So we did this original research in 2009, and we just repeated that research in large part. Not every question was the same, but many questions the same. It was a tracking study again, early in the summer, with audiences where, so with alumni, so not with all the audiences we originally did, because we didn't spend money enough against all those audiences to do it, and then with internal audiences. And so we looked for certain things to see had some of our branding messaging lodged in people's heads. How was the tagline doing? Did people even know it? Did they have good associations with it, that kind of stuff. We did see some positive trends. We also saw some things that frustrated some of our leadership. So some of the positive trends, I think we saw some gains with particularly current students who would have been prospective students as we're doing all this marketing, and with alumni in terms of sort of the messaging and the excellence of the institution, that kind of thing, academic excellence, which is really what you're just trying to build all the time. And we really saw positive things around the Spartansville tagline, around everything people associated with it. All the associations with it were exactly around that brand that I've just communicated to you. So that seemed to be working really well. I think the biggest frustration for our leadership was that we have a question. Never construct a question like this again. We have a question. It's a forced choice question between what is the institution best known for: athletics, academics, or social environment. Social environment, it's AKA party school. That question is on there because back in 2009, leadership was concerned we were too much of a party school. So of course the objective would be for that social environment to go down and academics to go up. Well, social environment went down, but guess what went up instead of academics? Athletics! Right, so that just made them crazy. But there are a lot of reasons for that. Our football program has gotten a lot better since 2009. Our president is the chair of the NCAA Executive Committee. Every time she gets media coverage, it's usually about that and not about anything else. Big Ten Network has gained in strength. Our basketball continues to do very well. We have a lot of reasons that our athletics, it just makes a lot of noise. And really, from my standpoint, we need to leverage that. I mean, you're not going to make it go away, and we don't want to tell athletics that's a bad thing, because it's not. We need to leverage it. So that's what we worked very hard to do. Before I came, the word Spartans never would have been used in university marketing, and the helmet would not have been used. So I worked very hard to essentially appropriate those things to general university marketing, because as far as I'm concerned, those are assets that if you don't leverage them, you're
you're losing a lot of equity.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Heather. It's 12:45. Let's give Heather Swain. Wonderful talk, wonderful talk. If you have more questions, you can come up afterwards. So now we have a big crowd and we have 15 minutes, and I know we're going to get all the way around the room with clear and concise and wonderfully delightful introductions. So we're going to start right up front. Are you ready, young lady?
I'm ready.
Okay. We're going to start up front. I ask you to stand up and give us your name, your company, and if you're looking for something, and then pass the mic, and we'll get all the way around the room. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Krisha Kapanica. I am a graduate assistant student working at MSU, and I'm privileged to be working in Heather's department. I am presiding over the My Spartan Impact account, which she mentioned. I've been live tweeting. You can follow the tweets, hashtag LA2M under the My Spartan Impact. And also, if you're interested, tomorrow I'll be live tweeting at the House and Senate chambers with the Rose Bowl winner football players will be honored by the legislators.
Hi, I'm Chris Everly, and I'm the head of the ESV Digital office right around the corner, and we do online marketing, paid search, and if you ever look at our website, esvdigital.com, we're running sandals campaigns and also Papa John's.
I'm Roger Hart, the Director of Michigan Photography. You can look at our website at photography.umich.edu.
Hi, I'm Kate Billerbeck. I'm the content manager at Ingenex.
Hello, my name is Ian. I'm an intern at Ingenex. I'm currently a sophomore at U of M. My major, I'm excited to say, is organizational studies. I recently got admitted, so excited about
My name is Emily Prague. I'm a senior at Michigan State, so go grade. Go away. And I'm working on LA2M social media right now. I do the Twitter, so hashtag LA2M. And I'm also interning with Ingenex. It's my 5th internship. So I'm an ad major, and I'm also doing 2 specializations, the PR and the sales specialization. And thank you to Heather for this awesome presentation.
Hi, my name is Steve Bush. I'm the brand manager for the University of Michigan, and I'm here taking notes.
I'm Ed Schultz, Director of Marketing at U of M, and we're here to support Heather.
Hey, go Bush. Tony Menhart, partner in Easy Artisan Bread and Pizza Mix. If you're going to watch one of those big basketball games coming up, make yourself a pizza first. Also, if you're going to start a food-based business in Michigan, the best place to go is Michigan State University Product Center. You want it? We need you, sure.
Hi, I'm Brittany Morris. I work with Protean Payment. We're a financial technology startup based in Carytown, and we are looking for a financial controller and iOS developer.
I'm Bob Shannon. I'm a local CPA, and I'm a business coach, tax preparer, and your acting controller, if need be. I specialize in keeping your accounts on track.
I am Jim Campbell from Exciting Productions, where we produce videos for marketing, special events, and weddings.
Hi, I'm Janine McNally. I'm CEO of a company called Speak So They'll Listen. We train and coach people to speak and present and sell assertively and also manage working with difficult people.
Oh, hey, good job.
She smiles.
Hi, I'm Monica Poplin, co-owner of the N Magazine, a central news magazine in Ann Arbor. We are distributed through the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal and the Ann Arbor News in Washtenaw County. And that is our photographer.
I am.
Hello, I'm Mark Coley with CPS Companies, and we service, sell, and install business phone systems.
Hi, I'm Stacy from Dollarville, your local digital print shop. And thank you, Heather, for that beautiful slide of the printed material that you still have to have with all this social media. And I have a great announcement. I'm going to have to announce it next week, too, so you're going to have to hear it twice. My daughter got accepted to U of M. She got accepted to MSU also, of course. But we're picking U of M. Sorry, Aaron.
Go Blue!
Go
Saves on laundry costs.
Hello, my name is Lane Schneider, and I'm the territory manager for CBS Outdoor.
And you're wearing green. You a Spartan?
Yes.
All right,
settle down, everybody. Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Uziel, and I do web and mobile development. But I want to do a quick commercial and a thank you for Stacy from Dollar Bill Copying. Last week, I got a hot job dumped in my lap at church who said we need this, and we need it done right away. Print up some small labels. I called Stacy 2 days later. It was at my house, so it got done. So thank you. So if you have a quick job that you need done, Stacy's the person to call.
Hi, I'm Bud Gibson. I created the search marketing program at Eastern Michigan University, another green school, but a slightly different shade.
Hi, my name is Ed Gilmetti. A week from tonight, I'm organizing an Arbor Wiki Edit Night. Arbor Wiki is a local civic wiki with a database of information about the local area, everything from birthday deals to opportunities for youth and teens, local history, you name it, it's probably there. We'd like to have your additions to it next Wednesday night at the Public Library.
Hi, I'm Christy Rawson. I'm a consultant in higher education. I specialize in expanding graduate professional development at the doctoral level.
I'm John Thiels. I'm an anthropologist interested in cultural marketing, the importance of football slogans and small groups in Michigan, and bringing together qualitative and quantitative research approaches. So
please indulge me again. My name is Elmo, and I play store at Elmo's Sneaky T-shirts down the block. Varsity, we're for you, here for you, we cheer for you. We have no fear for you, oh varsity, and the Mason Blue. And yes,
Go Blue.
This is a real jacket. This is my first letter that I earned in track in 1966. And why do I show you this? It's because you have an opportunity. The next 8 people that walk into my store, I have a half-price sale, varsity jackets, black leather, black wool. You can emblazon your corporate logo here, and you too can sing the song.
It's kind of hard to follow that. So my name is Elizabeth Sickles, and I am a Spartan as well. And I realize now that while I have green and white stuff, it's not professional to wear to an event like this. So this means I get to go shopping. So this is a good thing. And I get to make really cool advanced technology fun. So I work with products that are 5 to 10 years from coming into the market.
Hi, my name is Armine. I am the purchasing agent of a steel industry back in Spain. I moved to the U.S. 3.5 years ago, and I'm here for networking.
Hello everybody, my name is Greg Mott. I am board president for Michigan Ability Partners. We're a local nonprofit that deals with veterans and people with disabilities and help them become self-sufficient. Basically, we help the homeless and people without jobs, specifically the chronically homeless. And one of my asks today, a very big need, is we would love to have somebody on our board that's a marketing professional to help with marketing. So if you are interested in joining a local nonprofit that helps veterans and people with disabilities, please see me. Thank you.
My name is Brian Rich, and I'm a marketing consultant and graphic designer for a local firm, PMA Consultants, or Engineering Construction. We work with 5 to 10 years of date software and materials, so I'm here to learn more about marketing.
Hi, I haven't used the microphone in forever. My name is Nectarios Konstantinos Georgiadis. I go by Nick. I'm with Primerica Financial Services, and we basically help in all financial arenas, insurance, investments. We even offer an opportunity for people to make additional income.
Hi, I'm Francis Salvagari with Lego Print Mail Marketing. We provide solutions for digital marketing, printing, ad specialty, as well as direct mail services. We are vendors at both University of Michigan campus and at Michigan State.
Hi, I'm Nick Helmholt. I am the operations manager for Arbor Bike, the upcoming bike share program in Ann Arbor here. And we are currently looking for sponsors for stations, for events, for whatever you think might fit best with this program. So if you're interested in the program, want to learn more, tag on the shoulder, go green. Oh, sorry.
Hi, I'm Lev Wood. I work for a company called MS2, Midwestern Software Solutions here in town. We're software engineers. We provide database applications. And if you happen to know a developer, a software developer, or if your friends are software developers, I have a business card. We'd love to talk to you. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Lila with a new company called Promote Social, and Promote Social helps incentivize your customers to promote you via social media, word of mouth marketing. And we've been live for about a month now, and the results are huge, so it's going well.
I'm Roger Rayle. I'm a venture catalyst. I have a company, Roger Rayle Virtual Ventures, and we do anything that's involved with anything visual, making sense of data to get a message across, including video.
Hi, I'm Sheila Sanders. I'm currently participating in the Michigan Shifting Gears Cohort 19 here in Ann Arbor, and I'm doing a user experience internship at Growing Home.
Hi, I'm Tom Tobin. I'm with AGC Automotive Americas. We make automotive glass, and Elizabeth is my partner, my better half, so to speak, and we're trying to pick up some techniques and tips on how to market our product.
Hi, I'm Mary Lou with the LA2M, and great to see this super turnout, and I'm glad to see everyone here. Thank you, Heather. That was an amazing talk, very informative. And if you could suggest a speaker for our group, I'd love to hear from you. If you're interested in sponsorship, pick up that card and hand that to me with your information on it. That'd be wonderful. I'm also a freelance writer, and I'm looking to connect with a company that would be interested in someone for promotional content writing. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Libby Hunter, and I graduated from U of M Music School as a voice major, and I would like to tell Elmo that I'm extremely impressed with his beautiful voice. And I also grew up in East Lansing and feel very fortunate all the time that my playground was the gorgeous campus of Michigan State. And lastly, I'm involved with this fabulous new weekly in Ann Arbor, the Ann Arbor Independent, in several different ways. I won't go into it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Marjorie Lesko, and I'm with the Ann Arbor Independent newspaper, weekly, locally owned newspaper that goes to the news behind the news. And I have sample copies. If you haven't seen it, I would invite you to pick up a sample to bring home. And I've come to this group to let you know that we are interviewing marketing firms. And so I would love to talk to people, and I've got a business card, and I bet you do too. So thank you very much. Please take a paper and weigh out.
Well, that's great news about the Independent. I'm a subscriber. I grew up in East Lansing and went to school here, though, for a long time. Susan Harris.
I'm Curtis Sherlock, Frogman Studios. I'm a commercial editorial and portrait photographer, which covers about everything, location, studio. I shoot a lot of running. If you're a runner, you've probably seen me. It's looking like this. Elmo officiating a lot of track meets. This last weekend I shot a birthday party and a surprise birthday party, which is interesting, and hockey and lots of running. And they had a picture in cranes of the general manager, I think, of a golf course, showing how deep the snow was and how they're going to have to deal with the runoff, and how long it's going to take to get the greens in shape. Anyway, the shots I shoot of these meetings go up on the group's Facebook page.
Thank you, Carter. And it is 12:59. We made it.
Wow.
Yeah, good job. Good job, everybody. Again, my name is Derek. I run a company called Nginx Digital Marketing. And I have to point out, so Krisha used to be an intern at Nginx. Now she's interning at MSU. She's about to graduate with a master's degree. So our interns really do go on to fame and fortune. So we have Yan and Emily here, 2 interns. And our interns are really, we're starting to run the world. It's amazing when they move out and get great things. So congrats to Christian. Anyways, really happy to be here. Heather, that was a wonderful, wonderful talk. And let's give Heather Swain one last round of applause. And Heather was supposed to be the second in our series of Big Ten marketing leaders, but Lisa got snowed out last week. And so next week, you have the pleasure. We did some crazy schedule rescheduling because we really wanted to keep these guys together. You know, Michigan State, Michigan, it's wonderful. So Heather got to go first. Hopefully you guys took good notes. You report to Lisa, but I think we're an easy crowd. You know, we're an easy crowd. So we're very excited. Lisa Rogers next week, University of Michigan, head of marketing, and I expect even a bigger crowd because it's Michigan and we're local. But there are some Spartans here, so I thank you all for coming out, and we'll see you next time. Go help some people, make some money in the process, and have fun. We'll see you next time. Thank you.